Hello everyone and welcome back to the Texas State Theory Test Grade 7. In this video we're going to be going over questions 15 and 16. A lot of vocabulary in this one. So let's get started. Question 15 says, for each measure below. A, name the major key. Let's just do that real quick. Flip back to the previous page, look at your circle of fifths, the major circle of fifths, not the minor, and we should be able to name these keys relatively fast. So, this should be the key of I believe, let me think. I'm not going to flip back. I'm going to try to do this in my head. So, G flat. I believe that's correct. I've been doing this for so long, I should know this. This is the key of D major. This is the key of A major. And this one is the key of E flat major. Okay, so now that we have A done, it says, identify the triad in the treble clef by circling the correct Roman numeral. Is this one right here, is that the 1 chord, the 4 chord, or the 5 chord? Well, I'm in the key of G major, or G flat major, so the bottom note should be a G if it's the 1 chord. Is that a G? Yes, it is. This bottom note right here, that is a G. So this is the 1 chord. Let's move on to D major. Let's take a look at the bottom note here. Is that a D? It is not. So let me see here. D would be number 1, G would be number 4, and A would be number 5. So what is that? That bottom note right here, that is an A, so this is the 5 chord. A major, let's take a look here. A would be number 1, A, B, C, D would be number 2, E would be number, or not number, D is not number 2, D is number 4, E is number 5. So let's take a look at the bottom note here. That is an A, so that should be the 1 chord. Alright, and last one, E flat. So E, there's supposed to be a flat, I'm not going to draw the flat. E is number 1, E, F, G, A is number 4, B is number 5. Okay, so what is the bottom note right here? That is a B. So this is 5. Excellent, so we got that done. C says, identify the note in the bass clef as the root, third, or fifth of the triad named in the treble clef by circling either root, third, or fifth. Okay, so now that we have identified the type of chord, we have to figure out, is this bottom note the same as this bottom note? Is it the same letter name? Is it this one, or is it this one? The bottom note of any triad is called the root. The middle note is called the third, and the top note is always called the fifth. So, here we have a B. So the middle one is a B, so this would be the third of that triad. Moving on, here we have an A. Now which one of these is an A? That would be the bottom one there, so that is the root. Here we have a C. Which one of these is a C? That's the middle one, so there we have the third. And here we have an F. Which one of these is an F? That would be the top one. The top one is the F. So that is the fifth of the chord. And that's all of question 15. Let's move on to question number 16. Question 16 says, write the number of the correct definition in the blank. One definition will not be used. You should have done this in the 6th grade theory test and the 5th grade theory test, and I believe the 4th grade theory test if memory serves correctly. So I'm just going to go through all these with you and make sure you study your vocabulary. Okay, this says little by little. Little by little in Italian is poco a poco. Poco means little, so number 1 is right there. Alright, number 2. The combination of 2 simple meters where the pulse cannot be divided into 2, 3, or 4 beats. So basically what it's saying is you're going to combine some meters and it's going to be like 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 4, something like that. If it's some type of weird number on top that it can't be divided into 2, 3, or 4, then that means it's probably an asymmetrical meter. It usually looks something like this, like, whoops, where did it go? 7 4 time, or 5 4 time, or, 11 4 time. It's some weird prime number that can't be divided into anything. Okay. So that is asymmetrical meter. Number 2. Number 3 says a meter in which the beat can be subdivided into groups of 3. If it can be subdivided into groups of 3, like 6 8 time, 9 8 time, 12 8 time, I guess you could have a 15 8 time. I don't really know. Probably not. I bet you'll only ever see up to 12 8 time. But that's divisible by 3, so that would be a compound meter. If it has an 8 on the bottom and it's ever divisible by 3, then you know you have a compound meter. Okay. Number 4, raises a tone by a whole step. That would be a double sharp. A double sharp raises a note by a half step. A sharp raises a note by a half step. A double sharp raises a note by a whole step. A flat lowers a note by a half step. A double flat lowers a note by a whole step. Alright, there's number 4. Number 5, slowing the tempo. Slowing the tempo. You might know it as retardando, but there's another way to say that. It's rallentando. So, number 5 goes right there. Number 6, animated, lively. Animated or lively. You should see that one as plain as day. Animated, animato, you know, same thing. Alright, number 7, raises a tone by a half step. That would be a sharp, but a sharp is not present. So that is the one that we're not going to use. Number 8, always. In Italian, the way you say always is siempre. Alright. Number 9, sweetly. You should know that if you are a frequent connoisseur of lattes or anything. You might see a dolce de latte or a maybe you have had the cake that's not tres dolce, it's tres leche. But anyway, dolce in Italian means sweet, literally to add sugar. So what is that, number 9? Is that the one that we're on? Yeah. Number 10, more motion, quicker. Più mosso, more motion. A little more motion, quicker. Alright, and number 11, the highest pitch of a triad, a fifth above the root. That is the triad fifth. Oh, sorry, not 12. 11. Alright, that is all of questions 15 and 16. I hope that helped. Remember to keep studying, keep practicing, and I will see you in the next video.